We're here at CyberTalks with Christine Gadsby, Vice President, Product Security at Blackberry. Christine, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I'd like to start by asking, what would you say Blackberry, where has Blackberry actually made perhaps the greatest progress over the past year in helping the government address a variety of issues, from IT modernization to security to automation and maybe even workforce skills?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think there's been a lot of effort in the ecosystem and in the industry in general to deal with kind of more of the how do we do security as a whole. So maybe not what does the product do, but all of the holistic security part. So this last year we've been focused a lot on the executive order 14028, so the executive order on cybersecurity, and really making sure that we're looking at security holistically, whether that's our people and what they do internally, or our products and how do we look at really securing the end-to-end ecosystem of those products, and really being prepared to be part of the supply chain. And that's really a very stepped back, lensed up view on how companies in general do security, because now it's what the security things or what the products do are really important. But now it's about how are those things secured in your environment or in our customer's environment or the government's environment. We have things like we're looking at QNX, which is part of that supply chain in vehicles. So that's really important when you think about it from an auto manufacturer. How do we make sure that architecture is secure going into that vehicle? So it's really it goes into everything that we do. So it goes into our people and how they're trained. It goes into how we look at the infrastructure of how we run our company. It's been a big effort to really lens out on that and look at that as kind of how do you do a prevention first? How do you look at shifting left, which again is a kind of more of a typical software term, but when you look at all of security, how do you shift that left and think more about prevention than an incident response type of thing?
That's a great point, particularly as we get more and more of an Internet of Things connected to the IT systems, and shifting left is an interesting concept there. Next, what else would you say Blackberry is doing in the way of using technology to improve things like delivering citizen services or supporting employee productivity? How would they feel the manifestation of some of the work that Blackberry is doing now?
Yeah, and I think that is such a great topic, in that prevention first and machine learning and AI really is the way in the future. I think so many companies struggle with things like alert fatigue. You hook all of these things up to monitor all these things, and then the things are screaming at you. How do you really focus on the value and where your signal to noise ratio is? And that's really something that we've been very focused on, which is machine learning and AI. How do we train ourselves on an answer for something to be smarter, to make sure those answers are funneled in the right things that you should be looking at. And I think looking at how we help do that as a managed service has been really, really fundamental. Companies just don't have the people. Security people are hard to find, they're hard to hire, they're hard to train. And so how do you look at bringing in machine learning and artificial intelligence so that you learn from past decisions into managing that as a service? So, how do we provide that as a service? How do we help others do that? Really, it's been a great focus, and it's been a lot of fun to watch that sort of come along and mature.
Well, Christine Gadsby, thank you so much for stopping by here at CyberTalks and sharing some of your insights on improving security for the federal government.
You're welcome.